Hello! In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create zones within building blocks. During the tutorial, I'll explain the available zone types and zoning protocols, and then show you how to create zones using partitions, and finally how to rename the new zones the partitions create. The zone type can be set at block or zone level on the Activity tab. I'll navigate to zone level to show this. There are 4 basic zone types available in Designbuilder, which can be selected using this Zone Type input. They are Standard. This is the default option and is used for occupied zones, normally with some form of environmental conditioning. Semi-exterior unconditioned. This is used for unoccupied spaces such as roof spaces and car parks that are not heated or cooled, but which provide a thermal buffer between the conditioned areas of the building and external conditions. Cavity is used to model vertical cavities such as double-skinned facades. And plenum is used to model significant voids in the building for air distribution. For the purposes of this tutorial, I will concentrate on the default standard zone type. This is used for occupied zones, normally with some form of environmental conditioning. You can read about other zone types in Designbuilder's program help by typing in Activity in the help search. Here we have an office block I created in the last tutorial on importing drawing files, which needs to be divided into separate zones. Note that this model already includes the DXF plan imported in that tutorial. Zones are created to enable you to assign different modelling parameters to different areas of the building that have physical boundaries such as partitions, or have different internal or external conditions. A separate zone would typically be required for spaces with different activities, HVAC and lighting systems, and orientation that affects solar gain, daylight availability and wind exposure. Individual zones are created at block level using the partition tool. I'll go to block level and select the partition tool. You can draw either standard or virtual partitions. I will discuss virtual partitions later. Standard partitions are used to create separately enclosed spaces within the block using a partition wall as a physical boundary. I'll change the view to Plan View and create a reception area using the DXF snaps. Note that depending on the geometry convention used, i.e. external measurements in this case, the partition and other wall thicknesses are determined by the wall construction defined in the Construction tab. Assigning constructions and geometry conventions will be covered in another tutorial. I'll start by clicking on the snap point. The zone is created automatically when the space is completely enclosed by the partitions. In this case, by selecting the endpoint on the perimeter wall using the purple DXF snap. Now you can clearly see that the zone has been created, and the grey partition colour shows that it is a standard partition. The model has to be regenerated when a new zone is created. So in large models, it may be beneficial to switch off automatic block zoning to speed up geometry creation. This is explained in the program help. Note that the second zone is now shown in the navigation panel. I'll now create a virtual partition. Virtual partitions create a new zone without creating a physical boundary. They have no thermal mass and present no barrier to heat and airflow, depending on the natural ventilation option set. Virtual partitions are commonly used for separating perimeter zones from core zones, where the perimeter part of the zone has different heating or cooling loads or different daylight availability, where daylight sensors are present. I will create a virtual partition parallel to the east facade to show you what this looks like. Note the different mustard colour of the virtual partition. It is good practice to name the blocks and zones as you go for easy identification later. We can do this in the navigation panel by clicking on the zone name twice slowly, with a pause between each click. This enables you to edit the name. and press Enter to confirm the change. For larger models, it is likely to be faster to change multiple zone names using the Data Input Grid in the Model Data Grid View tool. This is explained in a later tutorial and the program help. If you have significant thermal mass from concrete or masonry objects in your zone, you can model the thermal capacitance of that by drawing a standard partition that does not fully enclose a space. You can find out more about that by using the search term hanging a partition in the program help. This finishes our quick review of zones and partitions in Designbuilder. If you want to learn more about the topics introduced in this tutorial, including top tips that will improve your modelling efficiency, then our Zoning and Importing Geometry and Floor Plans on-demand training session covers these and other related aspects of Designbuilder. We hope you found this tutorial useful. Further information on the specific topics and wider application areas can be found in the comprehensive Designbuilder program help, other tutorials and webinars, and our on-demand training.